What's our common thread? Do we even can we even hate someone in unity together?
Well, it's like a good times, bad times thing. So the benefit of somewhere like China, where you could tell everyone what to do, is if the person in charge is killing it, that could potentially be better. Like a company, right? If you have a CEO that's killing it. But when you have one that changes every year and potentially they're up to some wild stuff, it's worse. So if you have someone at the top that's amazing, but in America, I don't think that that's who you get at the top, people in politics that are amazing. I think you get people that stink.
Yeah.
So I think I'd rather the less power.
I think you're making you're in a roundabout way making a great argument for dictators. You're saying those guys show a lot. Because you got to think.
Well, you could say that in a company or anything. Imagine just even on like a thing that we do. Let's say you're writing a sketch, right? One person, unified vision, everyone's following it, will probably make the best thing.
Absolutely.
If that person's amazing.
You can't say
if that person's not amazing. Then you're better off with these people being involved.
You can't say China's not effective. They are very effective. They control COVID. Their economy's doing good, and they don't got people pushing people into the subways over there. I'll tell you that right now.
But that guy's gone, and someone comes in like his, whoever that stinks.
But they'll never. If he stinks, then then the people rise up, and it ruins the whole thing.
You're just saying it needs to be a good dictator.
You got to be a good dictator.
I'm not saying that I prefer that. I'm saying objectively to get the job done.
Yeah, it's a good comedic premise. If you're going, hey, what did you have to do? What did you have to do to be elected? Be charismatic?
Yeah.
Oh, what did you do? You owned the car dealership in Pennsylvania, so they made you a congressman over there? Guess what I had to do? I had to rise up through the ranks of the KGB. I had to murder political dissidents. I had to murder journalists. I had to figure out which ones were potential threats. I had to deal with all these geopolitical issues, and I'm still at the top, and people want to kill me. I am a talented guy. That takes a lot of talent. I mean, Putin is a talented
And I got to listen to you morons.
I got to listen to you fucking morons. And then I got people wanting more food and asking questions like, hey, how come you get to stay in the big house?
You go, hey, we're not worrying about food right now. I'm fucking taking over the world, buddy.
I'm taking over the world. I get to,
You go to the, do you trust me?
Yeah. You trust me. You hate them, right?
Yeah.
You make a good
point.
Look
me in the eyes.
Like dictators, there's a lot of skill. There's a lot of talent to that.
But the minute it stops going great, people kind of uprise against them. That's the thing.
Yeah, those are fun to watch.
The best.
Yeah, those are because
I love a good uprising.
Yeah, good uprising because they've been holding it in for so long.
That
they always overdo it.
Yeah,
like
the
people always Gaddafi. They don't just murder you.
They go into it.
It's like they've been pent up. It's like they were raising.
You're getting stuff shoved in your ass.
You're getting shit shoved in your ass.
People hit you with a baseball bat with nails and shit like that.
Yeah, you're getting hung upside down like Mussolini.
Well, that's the no pressure release. Whereas if it goes back and forth in America, you go pretend like, oh, our guy'll be a shot. You know, you get to go back and forth and pretend that it changed.
Right.
Whereas there, they never got one change. It was, imagine you're, fucking the biggest Hillary supporter, and you had 25 years of Trump.
Right.
And when things get really bad, you're fired up.
Yes.
Political constipation.
Yeah, it gets you. It's backed up, and then you just explode.
It's backed up.
Like the funny thing about
you've been sharpening your dildos.
Yeah. Mussolini, dude. I think every citizen, whoever was there, just walked by and punched him.
Did they play soccer with his head?
They played soccer with his head. I mean, poor Gaddafi. Do you see what they did to him on the
That was the craziest one.
Yeah, they got him on the truck, and he's just like, oh. It's funny to see guys though that were once like Mussolini. Yeah. You see those people. He's up there, and then next thing you know, he's just upside down with his mistress.
Vulnerable.
Yeah, a little vulnerable.
One minute he's so powerful, next minute he's in the Lord of the Flies.
Yeah, it just goes from one extreme to the next with those dictators. That seems to be a common running theme in nature. Is the more how far you go this way is how you're going to end up that way. It's like. Because it's like the game Pac-Man. You go to one side, you come out the other side. Because everything's finite. So however extreme you get is
what's a good real world example?
Like someone's a Christian conservative. Like we were talking before when you were like he's not a good Christian because he was doing the opposite. I was like, no, that sounds actually like a perfect Christian.
Because that's the whole thing you get. I was saying he's like a phone. Like that's every Italian guy's and hood dude where I grew up. The most thing they care about is the Lord. They got all the gear. They got all his swag and merch. They have all Jesus' merch.
And then
But, yeah, they're
then
just killing people.
Yeah, yeah. It's like the more extreme you are, the opposite is happening. It's like the more straight you act, you're like, you like dick a little bit. It's like that's just what nature does to us because it's
Well, because it's naughtier now too.
yeah, it's naughtier and also like there's something about going that extreme.
What are we doing?
There's
That
got to
just
be a balance.
I think it's even. I think it's like a
Energy thing a little
I think it's
bit.
more of an energy thing.
Yeah.
I think it's more of a nature thing. It's more of like.
Well, I agree with the energy component too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like it's all this energy the other way, and like, well, what if it just got Steven Seagal like a ketoed back,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden now you're sucking a dick.
yeah, because just like with that Pac-Man analogy I get, the farther you go, you get to a point where you can't go any farther except for back to the other side. You notice it's like, have you ever noticed how much in common like right-wing Christian conservatives have with like
Al Qaeda.
Al Qaeda, who they hate, their enemies. It's like their tenets are.
But are
all
they the
same.
opposite? Because they're both Christian religious people.
Good point. Well, they hate each other.
Or
I
no,
guess.
not Christian, or conservative religious people.
Well, yeah, so good point. They're very similar, except that the reason why they're extreme is that they want to kill the other one.
I think that's why a lot of people here, they're like pro-Russian. They're like, I agree more with those guys. They're
Right.
like, oh,
They
you
could go
you go.
live there.
I'll tell you what, they don't fucking trans bathrooms in Russia. Like if you're against that shit,
You're against that, then go. I don't want to hear about it anymore. See, because my thing on the trans thing is it's talked about too much. But like, look, if you want to chop off your kid's dick, it's your kid.
Just.
Do it.
If you're gonna chop off your kid's dick, chop off my kid's dick too. It has to be fair. Don't be.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, like, yeah, it's a good point. It's like, yo, if you love Russia, go.
Do you remember
Go there.
There was a while where
You got to live there.
when it's probably it's the same thing where you have conservatives that go so far they love Russia. You have the other where it was I think there was a while that kind of like social justice type people hated kind of like white Americans or whatever so much that they would like join the Taliban
Yeah.
and then always just end up getting like raped for 6 months straight.
Exactly.
Do you remember that?
yes.
They go,
Yeah.
this
And
is what-
they're always like, I don't want to do this anymore. It's not what I thought. It's never what you think it is.
never worked out
It's
good for him.
Never what you think it is. Look, it's not what you think it is when you get hired at SNL, and it's not what you think it is when you join the Taliban.
Yeah.
The reality is always different.
It's
than
all
the-
you seem so glamorous, you know what I mean? You're just smashing tail with the boys, riding go-karts around. Next thing you know, what they don't tell you is you're biting on a chew toy while they take turns with you.
Yeah, next thing you know, they're like, why did you just show a piece of your hair? And then they have to gang rape you to put you back in your place, in your order in their society.
Yannis.